What's up, everyone? So, it has been a minute since my last log. Updating you with this new log. Two things. One, this is going to be a much different log than normal, as you can probably already tell. Because some time ago, right after my trip to California, I got this nifty little thing, tripod thing. I'm not getting all these first-person shooting things, so that's why I've gotten a lot of my third-person has been with the stand recently. We are going to be climbing Malin Peak. That is this peak up here. It's a pretty intense hike. I've only done it once before, and it took me about an hour and a half to climb it. And it was brutal coming down. So yeah. I'm gonna wait until I'm a little bit more deeper into the hike before I start talking about the topic of today. And the topic of today is endurance. One thing I will start out with before we get to the really nice scenic things is another two things. A, you may have noticed I don't have a scratch anymore because in my last video when I went to Florida, that very ending scene at the wedding, that scratch, in my opinion, ruined the best shot I've ever had. Ruined it. So I insta-bought a new case. So I got a new case. So the beginning of Warrior's journey, every journey, is always tough. So then, once you get going, it levels out. And, it still might be tough, but it becomes easier after a minute. And I'll pick back up when I'm in the nice scenic section of this hike. Okay, so now I've gotten past the hard part. It's no longer super uphill, no longer in the sun. And in your life adventure, I am going to use parkour, since that is what I do. And thus, from here on out, I'm going to interchangeably use parkour and life kind of as one thing. I will specify one or the other if I need to use a specific example. But for now, and to me, parkour is life. So they're slightly interchangeable in this instance. So we're going to use that beginning part of the hike. And here we are. Malin's Basin Peak. That's where I'm going. As my beginning part of the hike, as my opening to parkour, specifically as the movement and the philosophy. I always say this often, I was chubby, I wasn't in good shape, didn't know how to move, I was not in the best of condition. I kind of, growing up in Florida, I'd sit around and I'd probably drink about 2 liters of soda every day, every other day. I mean, I drank a lot of soda. So I was kind of picture this chubby kid who sat around, didn't do homework, watched TV all day, masturbated, your average teenager things. Except for I was like Mega Master Extreme 5000 at this. So, the beginning of my training was very much like that. It was in the sun, it was hard, it wasn't easy at all. It took me a couple of years to, learn how to use my body in even the basic of ways. Again, I had to reteach myself from when I was a child. And, so, I kind of, after that, I was kind of on a trail a lot like this, uphill, and I was going, it was difficult, but I could keep going. I lost the weight, and I kept moving. I'll continue with my story once we get a little bit further. And so here, I have another section. You're constantly, reason why I'm using a hike, I picked the hike specifically for this video. Because hikes, I feel, are the ultimate, or actually it's ultimate, are very comparable to endurance. Because the entire time of a hike, especially for me, I live up in the mountains of Utah. Hikes are always on the side of mountains. Now, I know down in Florida, there are hikes, and, you know, I used to live in a specific place, and we had this place, I don't even remember the name of it anymore, but it was just like 25, 50 big jump acre land, you know, a lot of land. And there were, of course, hiking / biking trails in there. And, but seeing as how Florida is like sea level, there are no mountains. It's very flat. And so hiking isn't very difficult. But here in the mountains, it's a constant upward struggle. You're constantly going higher. And compared over to parkour, you're constantly getting better. You're constantly going further. You're, you know, continually pushing yourself in a direction gravity doesn't want you to go. You know, there are always high patches of gravity in one spot and low patches of gravity in the other. But you're constantly going upwards, higher and higher. And like I said, there are minutes, even in mountains, when it will flatten out, such as right here. It's flat. And so it's not difficult. And, you know, you've gotten used to it. You're doing good. Maybe a little bit bumpy, but for the most part it's flat. And it's not hard to keep going. You got the groove. And then maybe, you know, in life, something's going to try to push you down. So you're going to have to, as you can see here, maybe you can see up here, you know, it's going to get higher, it's going to get harder. And you're going to keep your will steadfast and just keep on trekking up. And you just keep on going. Sometimes in life too, you've got a plan in head. And, you know, today mine's Malin. But to come across, you know, and we're going to use the Upper Taylor Canyon, right? Hope you can see that, boop. I have not really bet on this hike, not yet. But one of the things I hear about it is that compared to Malin's, it's super simple. It goes up a little ways, and then it levels off. And, you know, sometimes you're gonna have to choose, you know, which way you're gonna go. One way is the hard way, the one I have chosen now, your original plan, and you make it to the top. Or, you know, you're tired, and, you know, life's just kind of wore you down, and your will is weak, and you give in and you take the easier route, which is, you know, might be hard at first, but then levels out and you've reached it. And you know, and you did good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You push, as long as you pushed yourself and you're happy with where you went. As with this mountain trail, it is very difficult. It's a constant upward struggle, because I'm now literally climbing the mountain itself. And I don't know if you can tell how steep this is, but it's like a 45-degree angle, constant. I mean, this is no easy trail. Alright, so if someone's up here, and so maybe you go the easy way, maybe you go the hard way, but you're done. You know, by now you had the will, but now it's dead, and you see this view. It's not that bad of a view, really. Makes you really appreciate life a little bit. And, you know, that's good. You pushed yourself, and in the end, you got a rewarding view, which is all about what enduring is about. Is you choose what you want. For this hike, it will be a view, but for in life, it's going to be something different. Now, I chose parkour specifically, and, you know, so that does mean it's a constant, never-ending struggle of being the best I can be, and I try. sometimes harder than others. Maybe I'd go an entire day without even caring about what I'm doing, and I'll eat junk food. And by junk food, I mean like oven pizzas or something. I don't know. I get these like little oven stuffed pizza things. I don't know, they take like 10 minutes to cook. And they're pretty disgusting, really. But, you know, there are just days where you don't care, where you're going to go slower. And it's all you can do is just remember to keep on trudging the next day, you know. Just got to keep on going. Because the path will never be easy. Woo! God, how I hate hiking. But like I said, the entire trail, if you can kind of tell how it goes, is like this. The entire way up the mountain. It's not easy, that's for sure. And you know, that's the reason why I chose a hike. Because life is not easy. You're gonna have hardships. And you just have to keep going through them. You know, there's a wallpaper I have that says "The knight in shining armor has never had his mettle tested," and you know, kind of goes to mean like he's never gone out there. He's never had to risk it. He is clean. He's slated. He's never had his hardships, and so he doesn't know what it's like. So you don't want a shining armor. You want those chips. You want those dents. But you've got to know where they're from. You've got to know why they are. And you've got to come to understand them. Because you don't want that perfect armor. That means when push comes to shove, you won't be happy with the way you come out. Also in life, you know, you're going to come across multiple paths. So recently I said there's the easier path and the harder path. But these were the two separate locations. You know, for this one specifically, for hikes, you know, you're getting a view no matter what. But, you know, so what should you want to get the view easier, but it might not be as nice? Or do you want to have the harder one, but it's going to be a lot better? It's going to be more fulfilling. Well, and there's going to be times where you're going to have to work harder, way harder, and you'll get to the goal faster. Or you can go easier, and it'll take longer, but you'll still get to the goal. I am going to take this one in particular, the harder one. It's much faster though, but it's not a very constant. Like my feet cannot be flat on the ground right now, otherwise I will fall backwards. So it's all on the ball of my foot. But they're gonna come, and they're gonna come, and you have to choose. Do you want to work way harder for it, and you'll reach the top faster, or do you want to sit back, relax, and enjoy? And you'll reach it eventually, but you know, maybe it'll take longer. Maybe your will won't be as strong, and you know. But it's worth it. In the end, you just want to make sure that if you set your mind to it, you're going to endure through it. And all you got to do is just make sure you keep going. You're also, this is a great example, kind of come across blocks, roadblocks. You know, here, there's a small little tree. This part of the hike is annihilating me. Or you're coming across bigger ones, like this tree that fell all the way down. You know, you're going to have to get over it, or under it. In this case, I think getting over obstacles sounds a lot better than going under them. So, and you know, you have to figure out what it is that you're going to do. Sometimes it'll be harder than that. Sometimes, like the first little branch, will be easy. It's a simple step. It's a nuisance because you notice it and it might deter you a little bit. But you just have to remember, You gotta keep going. You know, there's always a way over or under, or in the parkour mindset, around said obstacle. And you just have to find out what it is. And it doesn't matter how long you're there, just get past it. Endurance is just as much as a physical thing as a mental thing too. Because when you choose your goal, you might know where you want to go, but you have no idea. I swear to God, I'm going to murder my camera. But it's just much of a mental thing, because you have no idea how far it is. Oh, somebody else. Yep. Because you never know when you're going to get done. You just kind of have to keep going. And, you know, you can't stop until you're at where you want to be. And, you know, this entire trail was pretty hard. I'm, if I remember correctly, I'm near the end of it. And I'll get my reward here soon enough. And, you know, it's been worth it. Because now I'm that much stronger. It's also getting cold. I'm that much stronger. I'm able to do this much more than yesterday, you know. And you gotta start small. I mean, no runner runs a marathon on his first day, you know. You have to know where you want to be and just keep doing it, because it's one long uphill battle. And hopefully if I did this right, there will be a very nice reward for me at the end that I'll do my best to film. Whatever it may be, the last little bit, just you're totally, physically, to know, you know, you almost. That's kind of how I've been living this past year, you know. I've been going. It's been super hard. My own insecurities, you know, one step closer, better to being me, to being. That's all my own parkour is. Be happy. If there's like in life I want to do, you know, I try it, or I won't. And you know, at least, you know, I wasn't able to do it just once and give up 3, 6, and just knew it wasn't for me. And you know, it's gonna try something. It's not gonna be easy the first time. 2 times, 3 times, 10, 20, you know, but you'll land a lot. But I mean, this is hill and sun coming out. My goal was to reach the top. Maybe I'll go back into the basin a bit. Whew, the bright old sun. Alright, and as you can see, all of the a little bit higher. Oh, and you know what? This view was worth it. Landmarks. That's the college I go. It's really big. There's a lot of my own parkour training. And on the other side, you know, you can see the view. There's a giant tree blocking my way. And down over here, maybe it's actually right down the, you know, I got the mountain range. It's a really good view. And once you reach your goal, you know, you can always go a bit further. You should never stop where you wanted. A goal is, once you reach your goal, in my opinion, that's where the real adventuring starts. Because now you know you went where you wanted to go. The only thing you can do is, you can do 2 things: keel over and die, or keep going. And I'm going to keep going. And back here, there's a little basin that's really nice. and very beautiful, very scenic. So here's some more view of the valley, and we're going to continue. That's what it's all about. You just got to push yourself through, keep pushing yourself, and in the end, you know, you're going to die happy, because you can't die unhappy with succeeding with whatever it is you want to do, no matter how big, no matter how small. There was a phrase I heard recently. It was, if you can't do big things well, do small things incredibly, or something along those lines. You know, it was saying, you know, you don't need to do really big accomplishments. You don't need to have large accomplishments. You know, you just got to do those. You just got to do the small ones. If you're gonna do the small ones, you know, do them grand, make them grand. You know, you can always make the small things big, you know, if you try. So hope this video isn't too long, like my last one being 20 minutes. And you know, until next time, try to come up with a new idea. You know, train hard and train safe.